Here at Authentic Edge Consulting, we acknowledge that our work takes place on unceded lands of the traditional Aboriginal custodians, the Yugambeh language peoples within the Gold Coast of Australia. We also invite you to reflect on the land you live and work on and encourage you to research and learn about its traditional custodians.
Welcome to Authentic Life and Business, the podcast where we delve into the journey of staying true to yourself while building a thriving business. I'm your co-host, Anna.
And I'm Tanga. Each week, join us as we uncover powerful insights, share transformative strategies, and tell inspiring stories to help you create a business that not only aligns with your values, but also amplifies your impact.
Welcome back. So we are episode number 5 now.
5.
We're talking into working smarter, not harder. So if you know or if you've been following us for a while, Tanga and I, we have our own consulting business called Authentech Edge Consulting, which we only just launched 2 months ago.
Wow, it's gone so fast.
It's going so fast. So we wanted to share our experience in what it looked like when we were launching our business and the tools and resources that we used so that we were protecting our energy to do more important things. So Tanga, let's get into it.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking before, this really also bounces off the one that we did before, the one on AI, because I think, if we're talking about working smarter, some of that can rest on how much you've got access to resources and capacity, like financial resources. And we mentioned before, if you haven't heard it yet, the previous podcast that we did on AI will crush a lot of that challenge that we might have had, say, 12 months ago.
Yeah.
But the other piece that comes off that is, at what point do you outsource?
Yes.
Human talent, right? Because we know we did it ourselves when we first launched. We see it with the people we're working with, is trying to work out how much of it should you do yourself or try to do yourself, and at what point do the scales tip so that it's actually costing you more by trying to do it yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So what comes up for you there?
I think the initial homework of putting even a dollar figure on your time is really helpful, especially if you're transitioning from an employee mindset where, you're $40, earning $40 an hour, $50 an hour. So that's sort of the lens that you have. So then moving into launching your own business, it's like, well, okay, what is your price point? How much do you charge for your packages? And then work out on an hourly basis, what does that look like? Is it $100? Is it $200? So really putting a dollar figure on your time, then you have this lens of looking at things. For example, let's talk about logos. Which you don't necessarily need.
It's not it's a package. It's part of the package.
It's not a thing that you need, but it's completely up to you. But if we go down that path and we say, okay, if you're going to jump onto Canva and you're going to create your own logo, how much time are you going to dedicate to that project? If you're looking at, say, spending a whole day creating a logo, how much does that equate to? From a dollar figure perspective, how much have you spent on this logo versus if you utilize all of these different platforms to find someone, a graphic designer, who you might be able to hire for, say, let's $50 to create your logo. Well, then, as Tanga was saying, at what point do you say, okay, it's actually going to work out better for me if I just hire this person on Fiverr for $50 to do my logo? I've just saved myself $2,000 for the day.
Yeah.
Because that's the amount of time that you would have spent.
Yeah, 100%. Because when you think about it, these people, it's their zone of genius. It's like you have your own zone of genius,
Yeah.
right? And you've practiced it, you've refined it, you've fallen down learning it, you've gotten back up, you've worked out hacks around certain challenges that you have because that's your zone of genius and you love doing it.
Mm.
And so when you can get someone that is creating, is used to like their, all of the examples that they can show you, they would knock it up in a few hours,
Yeah.
less than an hour,
Yeah.
but they've got the tools in place to do that. They've
Yeah.
invested in all of that. They've invested in their skills to be able to create that
Yeah.
and crush it in a couple of hours, or even if it was done within 24 hours,
Mm.
that's released you so that you focus on what's really important, that is direct income earning activities.
That's it. And just touching on that as well, in terms of the resources and the systems that, say, a graphic designer has access to, when you're creating a logo on Canva, you're not getting the quality
No.
that these graphic designers can get. When you're putting it onto your website, and, this is, I'm speaking from previous experience
Yeah.
now, the quality's just not there. It really isn't. You'll see it's like really pixeled. It's
Yeah.
not clear. It's just, and for these graphic designers, you pay $50. They do the design, but they also give you usually the
Yes.
files, the different
Yes.
formats so that you can put it onto your website. You can, I don't know,
Social
create
media,
merch,
really good.
whatever,
Yeah.
put it on social media, and it's the quality is there.
Yeah.
So it's not just from a time perspective, energy perspective. It's also they've got the systems in place because it's
Yeah.
their bread and butter. They do it
Yeah.
every day. So they're investing in these different systems that would, there's a cost involved for those, which for solopreneurs, you wouldn't do that.
No.
I'm not going to go off and pay, I don't know how much it is, like $100 a month for Adobe or
No.
um,
It's
all those
crazy
different sort of graphic
because you wouldn't
design
use it.
systems, because you
Yeah.
wouldn't. You
Yeah.
wouldn't use it like they do. So keep that in mind.
Mm.
That is something that, working smarter, not harder. It's sometimes you just have to go down that path yourself and
Yeah.
you look back and think, oh gosh, that was a really dumb decision I made. And you learn from it.
You learn from it. You
Yeah,
laugh at it,
you
and
do.
that's why we giggle because we know about
Yeah. Well, oh
the
goodness.
learning lessons we went through.
Yeah.
And what that extends to then is the human talent,
Mm.
and we've been talking about that with our business
Yeah.
because we tend to think it's going to be too expensive to hire someone that has the talent that I need.
Mm.
Um, and here's the mindset shift that I think we've probably next leveled ourselves is that we think, well, this is the value of the package or the offer. Out of that, I need to allow for all of these services. So that's interesting because then it limits you. You've already created a value based on what you know, but now you're taking out the cost to earn that.
Mm.
If you're taking on another person, how would it feel if you added their value onto your package? Because that's having a direct value add to what you're doing as well.
That's it. It's like adding another skill set to your resume, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When you
without
go,
having to do all the training.
exactly, exactly. And we were just touching on this, Tongue and I, is that for entrepreneurs and people that are coming into the business space, sometimes you think that you've got to know the ins and outs of absolutely everything,
Mm,
the marketing, the advertising, the tech side of things. But, again, there's people out there that you can hire to take care of that.
yeah,
And it's that zone of genius again. It's
it
making
is.
sure that you're protecting your energy and your time so that you can focus on, what you're good at. And so for us in our consulting business, we typically deal with therapists, we deal with life coaches. And so their energy is important and how they show up
Mm,
in sessions with their clients. So if you're wasting all that precious time and energy trying to put a website together or create a logo on Canva,
or post to
it's
social
ridiculous.
media the
Exactly.
number of times you need to.
Yeah, it's just you're wasting your time,
Mm,
your talent, your energy, everything. So if you are not familiar with some of the different platforms out there where you can find really good talent. Like, we've just been blown
Crazy.
away at
Yeah.
the amount of talent out there for pretty reasonable prices, I reckon. Like, the
Yes.
value is
Yes.
there for the amount of that they're charging as well. We'll list that, some of the resources and platforms that we
Yeah, good
use
idea.
in our consulting business. We'll list that in the description in this podcast so you can have a look over them. And it's basically like the Facebook marketplace.
Oh, it is. And,
Yeah.
we've got to, when we are so used to going to a physical job and everything in our mindset is the physical location environment we're in, you're going to next level it because these resources are global.
Yeah.
And that's what you open up your awareness to because all of a sudden that the abundance
Mm.
of what's available to us and resources
Yep.
has a direct impact on your output
Yes.
in what you're delivering.
That's it. Yeah. And speaking from a global perspective, when you're hiring these people, which, for the talent that we're looking for, a lot of them are located in, for example, India,
Hmm.
Pakistan,
Yeah.
all of these different places. So,
Philippines.
when you think from the point of view of you're paying them in US dollar or AUD, how
Mm,
much does that work out for them
yeah.
in their currency?
100%.
So it's like, you know, it's twofold.
Yeah.
You're giving them the opportunity, the income that they wouldn't typically see
Yeah.
if they were to go to a 9 to 5 job
Yeah.
locally for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rewarding. It's a win-win situation in my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's just come up for me is often the resistance is around trust.
Yeah.
And there can be, like, if you feel the resistance of, oh, I wouldn't hire someone from that country
Mm,
or that culture or whatever, I would invite you to just, have a think about where that's coming from
mm,
because
mm.
it's highly likely you're denying yourself and your business
Yep.
access to resources that will next level you.
Mm. Yeah, that's it. And on that note as well, if you have, and I am the biggest perfectionist when it comes to, I find it really difficult to let go and delegate certain things because, I like it to be done a certain way. So if it's not done a certain way, I'm like, oh, not happy with that. But you got to no one is going to care about your business more than
You do.
you. So, it's almost like you have to let go of that and be okay with it not looking the way that you may have intended it to.
Mm, mm.
But on that note as well, making sure that you've set parameters, you've got clear instructions of what it is that you want this
Yeah.
person to do so that it eliminates room for error.
Oh, that's a biggie.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
a
going to let you take
big.
this one because I know you know what I'm talking about.
So the interesting thing with that is about having really clear communications, and we actually have that in our resources for our clients, is templating. Like, these are the things that you need to be able to communicate clearly in the different roles that you might be outsourcing.
Mhm.
So what that does is, if you're not able to complete it, then you don't have a clear idea of what you need.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the challenges that can cause
Mhm.
are not just yourself and your time, is the other person's impact as well. So their idea of what you want to achieve and your idea, there's a big gap. Always assume there's going to be a big gap.
Yes. Yeah.
And so having SOPs, or, standard methods of operation,
Mhm.
really written down, is really going to help you
Yeah.
remove yourself. So the idea here is, we actually want you to start to remove yourself, and so that you can work on your business as opposed to in the
In
business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to do that if you're right in it and you're trying to do social media content or something like that.
Yeah.
So get those people that are smarter than you in those
Mhm.
spaces.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes for businesses that are already established and they're looking to scale their
Yeah.
business. It's, letting go of that. And, at what stage do you start looking to outsource things? So, again, we'll leave the resources for places that we've used to hire from and get people to do things for us. But yeah, does anything else come to mind for you?
Lots. We don't have time.
There you go.
Those are the types of things we get to have really deep conversations with. And I think if this stuff is resonating with you, whether it's on this one, please reach out. We're here. That's what we're here for, is to open up these conversations and just notice what's going on in your body, and be driven by that. Get curious.
Absolutely. Well, that's wrapped up episode 5, Working Smarter, Not Harder. Please, again, comment below any questions and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo-hoo.
See you in the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you liked this episode, please hit subscribe and let us know in the comments below if there's a topic you'd like us to discuss in the upcoming episode. If we're not already connected on the major socials, you can find us at Authentech Edge Consulting. We'll see you in the next episode.